Now, I am a little bit late to the Saucony Triumph 22 party, but I am glad to say I've finally got my hands on a pair in this rather fetching orange, yellow and grey colourway, and I love a bright orange running shoe, so these are perfect for me. I actually really enjoyed running in the previous version of this deeply cushioned neutral daily trainer, but this time round there has been some major updates. So you now actually get a full PWRRUN PB foam midsole. So that is the same performance driven foam that you'd get in Saucony's Go Faster road shoes, the Endorphin Pro and the Endorphin Speed. So this should have a big impact on how this shoe performs. So without further ado, let's dive into the video and take the new Triumph 22 out for its first run. Yep, it is first impressions time at the channel again. Thanks for tuning in to another video. I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. So we've had quite a few road running shoes on the channel of late. What with Nike's new Pegasus 41, we also had the R1, a new shoe from the new brand coming out of Hong Kong, Mount to Coast. And now we've got Saucony's latest Triumph 22. So before I lace them up and take them out for a quick spin, let's give you guys a few facts and figures, and we're also going to break down this new construction in a bit more detail. So first up, the all-important price, and I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that Saucony have kept it at the same price point, even though it's got that updated PWRRUN PB midsole. When I heard there was going to be that big update, I thought there'd also be a big price increase. So great to see Saucony keeping it at the same price. So the new 22s retail in the UK for £170. As far as the weight goes, my pair in a UK 9.5 come in at 314 grams. So there has been a little bit of a weight increase, about 5 or 6 grams, so not a lot, but it is slightly heavier. Again, I was surprised at that. I thought this PWRRUN PB midsole would actually make the overall shoe lighter, but that obviously isn't the case. We got a really good stack height, so a good depth of cushioning. We got 37mm at the heel, 27mm under the forefoot, making the Triumph 22 a 10mm heel offset. We've got quite a different looking upper design compared to the previous version. So Saucony have gone for this nice twin layered engineered mesh construction this time round. We've got lots of perforations over the toe box and in the tongue there, just for a bit of extra breathability. And I'm always happy to see a gusseted tongue in the upper of a running shoe. And we've got one here. Comes with a really good helping of padding, so that should give me a nice sort of foot hugging mid-foot lockdown, but it should also sit nice and comfortable across the top of my foot when I pull those laces down nice and tight. It's a very similar story when we take a look at the level of padding around the ankle collar and in the heel, and it does feel very plush to touch. And we got a nice substantial heel cradle for a bit of extra support in the back end of the shoe. And then the uppers all finished off with this adaptive lacing system to make sure you're nice and secure so you don't have any sort of movement or slippage within the shoe. Moving down to what I personally think is the most interesting update to the Triumph, and it is this new midsole design. So I've always been a big fan of Saucony's PWRRUN PB compound. I find it very comfortable, high energy returning and pretty durable. Although when I tested out their new Endorphin Pro and Endorphin Speed earlier in the year, I think Saucony have slightly tweaked the blend a bit, so it does feel a little bit firmer. So going to be very interesting to test this midsole out on today's run. Saucony also claim that they've improved the midsole geometry. That rocker is supposed to be more efficient, and we've got a slightly wider midfoot profile this time round, just to give the shoe a bit more stability, but also to help it accommodate lots of different foot shapes. And then finally flipping them over, and actually flipping them over, you really can see that that midsole profile is definitely wider than the previous shoe. But we've also got a good helping of Saucony's XT900 blown rubber in all those high wear areas, so that's to help out when it comes to grip in all types of weather conditions, but also durability when you're getting out there on the roads putting in all those training miles. And there you have it, folks, in a nutshell, Saucony's latest deeply cushioned neutral daily trainer, the Triumph 22. That's enough of talking, now it's time for some action. So I'm off to get my running gear on, but don't worry guys, we're not leaving you behind. I'm gonna grab the GoPros and you're all gonna be coming on the run with me. So let's get out on the hard stuff and take these bad boys out for their first run. so we thought we'd switch the route up a bit today. It's gets a bit boring running the same route on the roads all the time. So I jumped in the adventure bus. We headed off about a mile out of Hale to this lovely little village called Le Lan. We're going to be running through Le Lan, past a little railway station that takes you to St Ives, and then we're going to go up the hill past the West Cornwall Golf Course, a lovely golf course but challenging. So if you're ever in Cornwall and you fancy a hit with your golf bats, it's definitely worth a round there. And then we're going to be heading back to the adventure bus, hopefully getting in around 7 or 8 miles. So far I've ticked off 2.5 miles, and so far the Triumph 22 is feeling very Triumph-like. So the upper, super plush, really comfortable, that padded tongue around the ankle and in the heel, fits really well. Saucony shoes tend to fit my foot shape really well. So 9.5, true to size, really good on length, and like I say, really good lockdown around that midfoot and holding the heel. It's got that sort of comfy old slippers vibe going on that I love when you put your foot in a running shoe for the first time, and it just feels super comfy out of the box. But like I say, 2.5 miles done. Let's crack on. Let's get this run done. Let's test out these new Triumphs. Okay, so we are back at the car park where we started. There's the adventure bus in front of me, and super positive run. We're just about to tick over 8 miles, so a good amount of mileage for a first run in a new shoe, and really positive run. Body feels good, that calf is a lot looser now, which is awesome, and the Triumph 22 has performed well. The shoe's always been a very cushioned, neutral daily trainer with a nice plush upper and lots of comfort in that midsole, but I think having the addition of Saucony's performance-based foam, that PWRRUN PB, it's definitely put a bit more spring in your step, and you feel like you're getting a bit more energy return from that midsole, which is always a good thing for me. But let's get the body loose, let's have a bit of a stretch. Whoa, it is toasty in here. It's a warm day today, but that's the cool down, all done. Body's feeling nice and loose. Let's get back to the studio now, and we'll wrap this video up with a quick conclusion. So that was another solid 8 miles in my legs on the road to recovery after the South Downs Way 100, and my legs actually felt really good out there today at that nice steady sort of tempo. So around about 8 30-minute mile in average, which is definitely a good thing because we've got the Serpent Trail just around the corner, and in fact it's this coming weekend. Now, I was hoping to run the 100k at the Serpent Trail for the first time if my legs had time to recover after the South Downs Way, but I really do think I'll be pushing my luck. So we're going to be sensible this time, and I'm actually going to be dropping down and lining up on the 50k start line. I love this race, you know, such an epic route. In fact, I think it's one of the best 50k routes in the UK, and there's always a great atmosphere at this race. But I've run it several times before, so we're going to do something very different this time, and something we haven't done before, but it should be great fun. But let's get back to today's shoe in question, and how did the new Triumph 22 perform out there on today's run? First thing, this upper is super plush, so it felt really comfortable. I would say maybe slightly more comfortable than the previous version, but I think they have sacrificed on a bit of breathability to get that comfort. So maybe the upper on the Triumph 21 was a little bit more breathable than this. Overall fit, really good on my foot shape, like it tends to be with a Saucony shoe. So I would say they're true to size. This UK 9.5 gave me really good length, good width and volume in that toe box, with a nice secure hold and lockdown around my midfoot, and I had no slippage or movement in the heel. Like I mentioned out on the run, this new PWRRUN PB midsole foam seems to give you a little bit more bounce, maybe a little bit more energy return when I compare it to that previous PWRRUN Plus midsole on the Triumph 21. Although, you know, comparing the two sort of midsole performances, there's really not a lot in it. I would say that the rocker geometry has been slightly tweaked for the better. It felt nice and efficient, but the thing that I noticed the most was the fact that the midsole now comes with this wider profile. It definitely felt very grounded and very stable out there on today's run, but I did notice that I had a shoe on my foot, and that sounds a bit odd, but what I mean is where they've made that profile wider, there's obviously quite a lot of midsole compound on the Triumph 22 now, so maybe it didn't feel as well balanced as the previous version, and it's a bit more bottom heavy. I actually put the Triumph 21s on when I got home just to compare the feel of the two shoes, and they definitely did feel a little bit less noticeable, a little bit lighter and a bit more balanced. And this is something that's actually happened with me with different models and different shoes throughout the years. When the brand has decided to widen that profile, it didn't really work for me. Now obviously if you felt that the Triumph 21 lacked a bit of stability, then you'll probably really like this new update. So wrapping up, there's no denying that the new Triumph 22 is a very comfortable, deeply cushioned, neutral daily trainer that can soak up all those steady sort of weekly training miles with ease, like all workhorse dailies should. I personally would have liked to see the new Triumph lose a few grams rather than gain a few grams, but I suppose for a deeply cushioned running shoe with this much soft stuff in the midsole, the overall weight isn't too bad. I'm going to continue to put miles in these over the next few weeks to see how they bed in over time, and then we'll be back on the channel with a full in-depth review. Did you get your hands on a pair of these? Have you always been a big fan of the Saucony Triumph franchise? What do you think about the updates? Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down for you? Let us know how the shoe is performing for you in the comments below. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be heading up to the fantastic Serpent Trail, so if you are running any of the distances over the weekend, I'm sure you're going to have an awesome time. Such a great event, so well organised by Freedom Racing, and there's always a wicked atmosphere around the event village and lots of stuff going on. We're going to actually be taking some Run4Adventure merch up there for the first time, so we're going to have a little merch store there, and we're going to be launching some new exciting items. So any of our viewers going up to the Serpent Trail, you'll be the first ones that can get your hands on the new merch. So if you do see us there, definitely pop over, say hello, because it's always great meeting our wonderful viewers. But for now guys, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting the channel, it's really appreciated. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, because it really is a big help and it would be greatly appreciated. We'll be back on the channel with some more enjoyable running content very soon, but as always, stay safe and keep on running. It's a very similar story when we take a look at the padding around the ankle collar and in the heel. Feels super. Is that the light playing up, or do we have ghosts in the studio? Let's just hope it's the light. You right there, light? You gonna behave? Well done.